What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live session with your boy Phrankleen. If you're watching this as a playback, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button. All right. So if this is your first time stopping over, awesome. It's nice to have you here. So this is Say It Like It Is with Phrankleen, where people send me their stories to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. If you feel like banging out your stories to me, look in the description below. You find my email address, foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Send me your stories. I'll make you anonymous. If they resonate with me, if it's something we can learn from, I convert it to a live stream like this or pre-recorded content. All right. So if you can see me, you can hear me, hit the like button and let me know that you can see me. What's going on, man? What's going on, House of Coffee? What's up, people? All right, what's going on, people? Um, right. I'm gonna put my phone here. So this story basically is one from one of the people that watch my channel. Is a lady who's basically dealing with her mother-in-law palaver at the moment, and she desperately wants me to share her story and also, at the same time, see what sort of interpretation I might be able to give and other people as well. So here we go. So this lady, from back home met her husband and they, usual boy meets girl type story. So anyway, they fell in love, got married, and then at some point they decided to migrate, overseas and stuff. So they moved over to here in the UK. Now, she said over time back home in Africa in the motherland, before they decided to hi MOT, hi everybody. I can see you, House of Cafe, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. If you can hear me, you can see me. Don't forget to smash on the like button so we can gain more traction. All right. Thank you. Right. So, anyways, they migrated and they carried on with their lives in the West and stuff. They have two wonderful children. So, but she said prior to moving over, she had a few run-ins with, the mother-in-law, but she tried her very best. When her dad was alive, she would kind of like tell the dad she didn't really want to, but it was too much what she interpreted as negative energy, right? It was at the early days of the relationship, but her dad would always, her dad is late now, but he would always advise her, keep your head up and stuff, don't talk back at your mother-in-law. Basically, her dad was a reasonable man. He wants the best for his daughter. According to the email, dad would always say, don't worry, overlook it. Hopefully over time, she will come around to maybe like you or whatever. Don't, get sucked into mudslinging and trading words with her. Just, leave her and stuff. So she listened to her dad. But the long and short was she felt the mother-in-law just had this type of resentment. Said at first when they started from back home, she wanted to intrude, get right into the middle of the relationship and, know their business and control. So which her husband was a bit diplomatic about. He wasn't exactly direct and put his foot down and say, Mom, don't do this and all that stuff. Said occasionally she would make this type of silly jokes with this conniving, this really dodgy smile on her face and say, oh, um, I can see you're controlling my son, with a smile, which it's a dodgy type of smile, but there's a type of like a message behind that statement that would appear like, oh, you're the one controlling my son type of thing. Hi, Sassy Funke, I can see you. And, but she would ignore based on the advice of her dad. So fast forward to them moving to the West. And they carried on, living and all that. But because of the distance, they left back home, they leave abroad now. It was like they had time to bond properly, herself and their husband, existing, nicely within the confines of their relationship and all that. And then suddenly the husband, so this is where things started taking banana shape. So unfortunately, the husband's immediate, younger sister, who had a little child at the time, due to untimely death, her existence was cut short, right? Part of it being health complications and stuff. Anyway, she died. So, and left a 5-year-old son behind. Now, and don't forget, husband has 3 other siblings, but the 3 other siblings weren't doing that great monetarily. They've got their own struggles as adults and stuff. He seemed to be the only one who, like, kind of all right. He lives abroad. He's got a bit more bread on him and all that. So anyway, his sister died and left a 5-year-old child who was, so the sister, the guy that got the sister pregnant was pretty much a deadbeat dad that knocked her up and never looked back to even get involved in the child. So he was never in the picture. Nobody knew his whereabouts. He disappeared. Now, when they buried her husband's younger sister, she said they contributed to the burial. It was done calmly and, because it was quite devastating for everyone. And then, as soon as the dust settled, they had buried her husband's younger sister. Then suddenly, a proposal came from the mother-in-law back home, and then she rang her husband and said she wanted him and his wife, this woman that sent me the email, to adopt his late sister's little boy, who was 5 year old at the time, that they should adopt him and bring him here to the UK so they can raise him, in a good household so he can have better opportunities in life. You would agree with me, okay? First of all, let me say this is never um, a template of checking if somebody is a nice person or not. But of course, this is African family that's deeply rooted in sentiments, right? So hit the like button. Alonga baby, good to have you here. Smash the like button, people. So the mother-in-law and some of the other extended family members on, from her husband's side were like putting pressure on him that, you can't turn your back on your sister's, son. Your mom is not able to raise that little boy. You need to adopt him. At least, you guys are over there. Your wife need to take the role of a mother. Wow. That was the bone of contention, right? So he then turned around this woman's husband and looked at her and said, baby, what do you think? The family. So she said, whoa, dude, stop right there, man. So I am not, of course, I'm terribly sorry about the passing of your sister, but this has nothing to do with me. Why am I obligated to adopt, your sister's child or your son? If we were all going to contribute to the upbringing or the little boys, and yes, Vicky's design, they've got 2 children, they've got their own kids. So if we wanted to contribute monetarily or in some other way to the little boys' education and future, so I'm more than likely will support you and any wonderful ideas. But the family can't just show up, pull up, and just impose on me and say, I've got to adopt the role, adopt your sister's son, and adopt the role of a mother to that child. Say, why? There isn't any consultation. There's no fair process here. It's like they're saying, some people self-proclaimed elders in the family are saying, oh yeah, because you live abroad, you are in a position to do this and this. Anyway, you get the gist, right? So the husband, rather than, because at that point, when you have all these layers of, complexities from families like that, that's when the man needs to step up. So he then was playing the dodgy game of diplomacy. So it's like, You know, I see that happen a lot. Pretending in front of the wife, like, oh yeah, 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 I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But then he will be like that in front of his family, like, hey, baby, you know, they're saying, you know, you should do this. So that exposes your wife to mudslinging and unfair attack from a bunch of unreasonable and clearly selfish people. So the woman said she put her foot down because it led to a major argument between herself and her husband. Said, nope, I am not adopting your sister's child and all that. Then the mother-in-law then drew a battle line and basically did everything and anything to repeatedly defame this woman within the family circuit and you know, saying, I've heard that before, that she's using some diabolical means to control her son. She's selfish. Oh, she's in fact happy that her husband's younger sister died. You know, she's evil. She's which personally, it's a truckload of hogwash, absolute nonsense. But then that led to major arguments, and she said her husband then one day turned around, like, you know, we've already got two kids, and she said, first of all, you and I said we're going to have three children. That's going to make it four children. And even regardless of the number of children we agreed as a couple to have, why am I obligated to, you know, look after your sister's child? So dude was playing, like I said, politics and all that, and then the fight went on and on. So eventually, of course, the mother-in-law, the only option, because the husband's siblings back home, they were claiming they haven't got money. They're not rightly placed to be able to cater for the child because, you know, oh, they have monetary challenges. They can't do X, Y, Z. They can only chip in every now and again. So eventually, the mother-in-law decided to carry on looking after that child, and that was that. But of course, there's clearly a mountain of resentment. There's a clearly bad blood towards this woman that banged me this email. So, but she said she felt naked, exposed, and let down by her man. So, fast forward to then, like a couple of years, 2.5 years or something down the line, she had already gotten pregnant with a third child here in the UK, and so the mother-in-law then they filed for her. So she left her grandson that she was looking at after back home with one of her husband's siblings, right? So she came to the UK, came to, you know, stay with them. So when this woman, you know, put to bed and all that, the mother-in-law was with them. She said the agreement was she was going to stay in the UK for like 2 to 3 months and then go back home. So eventually, this woman put to bed, null and void of any complications. It was great. Baby was healthy, and then eventually they went back home. Now, as you know, as you'd appreciate, the usual daily routine, giving birth, you know, to babies and applying the body cream, Johnson baby oil, eucalyptus oil, and all this stuff to make the newborn baby look absolutely gorgeous, right? And so she said one morning, her husband had gone to work. So she was left at home. He had the other two kids had gone to school. So she was at home with the mother-in-law and stuff. So mother-in-law said, oh, let me help you give bath, the baby a bath and stuff. And she was like, okay, cool. And then they set up the bath. The mother-in-law washed, the baby. She was stood by her, helping to put water on her child. Everything appeared like it was going good. So what was running concurrently with that was whilst the baby was having a bath, she was also doing some cooking in the kitchen, right? And then They cleaned up the baby, had a lovely soft towel wrapped around the baby. Mother-in-law took the baby to the bedroom, and the next procedure was to apply the baby oil and all the, dress the baby up and the baby grow and the usual stuff, as you'd appreciate. So the lady said she had gone to the kitchen. What she was cooking was already done. She cut the light off the cooker and then made her way back to the bedroom. And as soon as she walked into the bedroom, she found the mother-in-law with a small pouch, like a little black pouch, like a small black nylon bag, right? With some dark kind of substance in it, which had nothing to do with what she had set on the table for her baby to use, right? Which is the usual baby oil and all that stuff that she had bought that they normally use. So she said she walked into the room and found her with this black pouch and then this kind of sticky, really dark substance that she had scooped a little bit out of the pouch. She was about putting it on the baby's, very tender hair. And then she was like, whoa, holy, what is this? So she snatched her child from the woman and said, what's this? And the mother-in-law, just kind of became a bit aggressive and got up, dropped the pouch, and then tried to snatch this woman's baby and said, he's my grandson. It's in the interest of his future so that he's protected and all the negative energy that you might have had in your body is not going to affect him. And you can imagine all hell, one second, all hell broke loose. And this woman lost her cool, right? And she snatched the child, and the woman wasn't able. She said she had already scooped some of these sticky stuff on the tip of her finger. So she put it back in the pouch and then called her name. You're a fool. You are this and this. You will regret this. I promise you. And then she was like, what do you mean I'm going to regret this? How dare you? I've only gone to the kitchen to finish up what I was cooking. I left you for like a minute or two and you tried to apply something to my child. Anyway, said the mother-in-law stormed out of the room, started mudslinging, talking crap about this woman's parents. Oh, they didn't raise you well. Oh, you're going to end up leaving my son's house and all that stuff, right? So she got on the phone, rang her husband, and she was yelling. He was at work. Your mom did exactly what I said. You need to come home now. Like, what's going on? She was clearly terrified. She said she clutched onto her baby. And, can you smash the like button, please, guys? Guys and gentlemen and ladies, please hit the like button so we can gain traction. So mother-in-law was saying all sorts that even her husband could hear the noise in the background, right? So he just said, calm down, calm down. And then whilst he was saying all that, because calm down, don't say such and such to my mom, regardless of the situation, you haven't got the right to insult my mom. So the lady was like, are you, she was angry. She just said to him, like, such and such, are you crazy? Like, are you out of your mind? Did you hear what I just said to you? And, so he hung up the phone on the wife and stuff. Anyway, not too long after that, less than 2 hours, he must have taken time off work. He got home and the mother-in-law must have talked that thing away. So the guy got home and said, what happened? She told him exactly as I explained to her. And then it was like, my mom, my mom raised me. Guess what? This was the guy's interpretation. First of all, he didn't ask his mom, like, mom, what was it that you were trying to apply on my child's head without my knowledge, my consent, or without my wife's knowledge or consent? Can I have a look? What's that substance? He then said to her in front of his mom that, oh, so what are you trying to insinuate? That what, my mom is an evildoer, she's trying to kill my child? Oh really? So this is your plan all along? Blah 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 blah. You hate the fact that my mom's around. If my mom was capable of killing, why didn't she kill me? If she had killed me, why didn't she kill me when I was younger, when she had the chance to? If she had killed me, would you have been able to marry me? And she was like, huh? Ask her to provide, what she tried to put on the child. She had gone to hide it. And the mother-in-law said she lied to her son, that she never tried to apply anything on the baby, that she held the baby up and she was saying prayers in her mother tongue, and said this lady dashed in the room and said, oh, she was shouting a bit too much at the baby, which was clearly a lie, right? So the guy just gave nya 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 to his wife, discredited her, and clearly, evidently took sides with his mom, right? So these shattered this woman mentally. Like, what? So it was clearly like two against, one, or one and a half, or two, had the baby. And the husband was just like, I'm not going to have you, talk trash to my mom. You need to calm down. Well, I can never, no way, have you suggest my mom's diabolical. And this blew absolutely out of proportion. It was mind-boggling. It was crazy. Now, lady was in tears and all that. So she did try to call some of her family members. So some people advised her and say, hey man, calm down. Just make sure that she doesn't give further birth to your child, or try to apply anything and stuff, just for peace to reign. So this woman wouldn't stop talking, yapping away. And then the guy just said, oh, you have to find a way, to make things work with my mom. I can't chastise my mom just to make you happy. Of course, the gentleman is evidently a spineless bastard. So he clearly threw his wife under the bus in that circumstance. So we shattered the woman's confidence. She was called a liar. She was called all sorts of names. And she said, as soon as her husband leaves the house, he's gone to work, he's gone out, the woman will start and said, I will make sure that my son end up divorcing you. She claims that up until the point where that mother-in-law stepped into that home, everything was jolly good. Now, there were subsequent lies where the mother-in-law would then say to her son that whilst you were at work, I heard your wife arguing with another man on the phone. The man is telling her that he misses her, and she was saying that she misses him too. Look, if you want me to come out of your house, I'm going to come out of your house. She's cheating on you. She's having an affair. And the worst part, like this woman explained, was for this child, she had a C-section, I believe. She had C-section operation. She was struggling to get healed up. You women would appreciate that bit. And and the woman kept putting layers and layers. So in the middle of the night, the husband will come into the room and try to say, baby, I have to do what I have to do. My mom, I can't just, watch my mom feel this way or that way. You have to calm down and work with me. So eventually, the woman had enough. So there was one day, mother-in-law got up, got dressed in the house. She went for a stroll. She said, I'm going to go strolling down a couple of blocks for fresh air. She took her phone, and the lady said she suspected that when she takes her phone and steps out, she wants to go chat to some people so that she doesn't hear the conversation. So as soon as she stepped out of the house, this woman rushed into the bedroom, the guest room where the mother-in-law was staying, packed all of our belongings, put them outside of the door, and locked the door from inside, whilst her son was at work. All right. So mother-in-law returns back home, knocking on the door. The woman wouldn't let her back in. And she said to her, ring your son to come and make arrangements for you to go and stay with some of your relatives until you go back to Africa. You're not coming back to this house, blah, 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 blah. And she was crying, you witch, you this and this and this. So she rang her son on her phone, and then dude came home from work again. So the husband was then saying, if you don't open this door, he was banging the door furious because the mother was sat outside. And it was a bit cold as well. I think it was banging in the middle of winter, which Mama's legs must have turned to some Chinese chopsticks from the cold outside. So the husband was banging on the door. And then she said, in a way that she had never seen a husband, he then started threatening that if I get into that house, I'm going to do such and such. I'm going to smash your face in. I'm going to get rid of your child. How can you threaten your own child? That your own child, you dig? So woman got absolutely terrified. She calls the police. But this is what she said to me via email distinctively. She said, when I called the police, I didn't report my husband directly. I reported my mother-in-law, that she came to her family house on holiday and she's become a terrorist, lying and basically trying to sabotage her marriage. Then she reported the issue of what she tried to use on the child. Now, that backfired. She must have done that because she was angry. That backfired. And this is what I normally say. Sometimes when you have very terrible people that make you sleep into a place of really dark emotions, you might do something because you're very emotional, you're very angry, you're consumed by that situation, by the circumstance, right? So she reported to the police. So the police told the husband that, listen, you've got to find somewhere else to put your mom. If they looked at her passport, she's come from Africa, okay, fine. You've got to find somewhere to put your mom, okay? This woman has got a young child, a young baby and stuff. But because this woman emphasized to the police that the mother tried to use some diabolical substance on because she's a mom, she's terrified, understandably so. But you can understand, you're explaining this to white folks. What they would think instantaneously, they put on their safeguarding hats. Because your reporting now is coming from you as a mom, undiluted reports. You're telling them that a woman has been in your house that must have tried to apply some diabolical substance that you claimed might have been designed to obliterate the existence of your baby. What do you think they're going to do? So the officer's eyebrows must have stuck to the ceiling above them, like, she tried to use what on the child? Right, you stay right there. So what did they do? They went off to the pavement outside and they called the social services. They reported, they pretty much referred the matter to the social services. So they had to come out as a matter of emergency. And what the mother-in-law palaver soon took a sharp left to whereby the woman said before she realized it, there were social services, 4 people from the local authority were sat in the living room, and they basically said, you claim to have seen the substance. What's this substance? Where is it? And she said, they don't know where the substance is. And when they turned to her husband, because the husband is trying to protect his mom. You see now, they were at crossroads. Husband's trying to protect his mom because there is clearly an allegation that his mother might have wanted to kill his child. He doesn't want mommy to get banged up or end up in a criminal court or, get a visa confiscated and have palaver with the authorities in the UK. Husband looks at the police and said, my wife is lying. Imagine him saying to the husband that his wife is lying. He then further suggested that it might be stress coming from the fact that she had C-section when they had the baby and other things. It's because his wife is being selfish. There's been ongoing palaver because his mother wanted them to adopt his younger sister's child from back home. This has been going on for a few years. His wife was the one that blocked the process. So there's been a bit of a friction between both parties. So wife made that up so that he could get rid of the mom. But of course, the police latched onto, and the social services, they latched onto what this woman who is the mother of the child. So they put a marker on that child and the rest of the siblings, 3 of them. They escalated, the local authority escalated it to a meeting and stuff. So this woman said, since then, they've been on the spot, under the negative spotlight of the social services, and they've basically been in and out of the family. Everything is upside down. They've opened a major file and stuff. They've written recommendations extensively, and it's gone across several agencies, and they basically used her words against the family. They built a profile of, the woman said her mother-in-law might have applied some substance on the baby. They then referred the child to a pediatrician, some other professional, and even when they couldn't exactly find anything that was wrong with the baby, they blew it out of proportion. Because don't forget, we live in a system where it's not exactly designed to be in our favor. That's a fact. And they infiltrated the family, and the woman said till date they remain under the negative spotlight of numerous social workers who are now, they've pretty much, they're controlling everything about their children up until medical appointments. And now they've recently started to make things up that, her firstborn might now be having learning difficulties. Said these allegations just came from nowhere. The child is not having learning difficulties. They've come up with that. It would appear to me that it's a trigger point, the beginnings of trying to clear out the 3 children. That's some of the malicious actions that you will find in the care system in the West. Thank you, Alunga Baby, for the super chat. I appreciate you. So she said, in all of this, now the mother-in-law, since all of these started, had jumped on the plane, gone back to Africa, right? I'm going to address that. Phrankleen, the way this story is going, it seems like the wife is a troublesome woman. She caused it all. Something is telling me she's only saying the story the way it favor her, man. How do you know, man? That's based on your assumption. Don't say that, man. That's a very, very direct allegation. Don't say that. You may well be correct. All right? But don't say that. Be very careful. There is a truckload of mother-in-laws from hell. I can look at this story, right? It's quite lengthy, and tell you that it's possible. It's very possible. There are very controlling mother-in-laws. There are mother-in-laws who have ulterior motives, because why? They never let go. They kind of have a grasp of the fact that their son is an adult, and he should go and live his own life, and they should remain outside the confines of that relationship. They should also show love and respect to their sons' partners and not intrude, not be aggressive, not be intimidated. So let's not jump into conclusion. You may well be correct. All of these might be some kind of professional lie that's been carefully crafted into an email to myself. But let's not try to assume that she's lying, because you know why? Personally, I know of similar, not exact, but stories of mother-in-laws from hell. And let me tell you, man or woman, if you find someone trying to rub some dodgy thing on your child, what would you do? Would you sit there in the name of trying to make somebody find you acceptable or trying to please someone, allow them to have their way? Won't you be like a three-headed dragon and protect your child? Hmm? So, you understand me, man? Oh, Queen, I'm 22. My fiance wants me to move in with his family when we get married. I don't think it's a great idea. It's definitely not a great idea. That's a setup. If you get married, I digress. I love that lady's comment. If you get married to that man and you move in with his family, sorry, you're basically going to be the one making coffee for the guy that makes cup of tea. You're going to be the house help for everybody, the chef, the cleaner, right? You're basically going to be relegated to the bottom end of the spectrum in that household. You're the one doing the laundries. They will trash talk you. They will walk all over you. They will piss all over you. And I can assure you, that guy will not do anything to protect you. Don't try it. Don't freaking try it. Don't try it. It was Ilobadil. Your mental health will absolutely be shattered to smithereens. Don't try it. So, oh yeah, gate man duties, man. So, like I said, man, um, she said in all of this, our husband, in all of these, our husband has basically been spineless and even sort of like blaming her, the way you talk to my mom and all that. So it would appear that he wanted to adopt his sister's son, his dead sister's son. He was expecting his wife to say yes so that she can assume the role of a mother whilst he just puts money on the table. And you can't do that, man. That's one of the most selfish things. And this is what I talk about. Sentiments. All of this story that I've told you now sits on the framework of emotional abuse and sentiments within our community. It's ridiculous, man. The mother-in-law palaver has been going on before I was born into existence. It would never stop. But I've said this before in my earlier episodes on this channel. A man has a very, very big role to play in all of this. Now, these that I'm saying is actually aimed at good women. I'm not talking about nasty women who mouth off, who are disrespectful, who are uncultured, who have nasty behavior. Like, you get out of your way to say crap and trash your mother-in-law, drag her to the mud, and then you try to falsely label your mother-in-law as being bad. You don't fall into this category. These is aimed at those mother-in-laws from hell who like to control their spineless sons and the confines of those sons, relationship, inclusive of their partners. They like to hijack, that relationship for their own ulterior motives, right? Those are the ones that I'm addressing right now. So a man has a solid role to play in this one. And like I said, the problem is if you don't grow a spine, it's very simple. If you're unable to look at your moms and say, Mom, no, you don't get to barge into my relationship, disrespect my wife, walk all over my wife, or piss on, piss all over my wife, or treat her like a doormat, or this. I would love us to exist together in love, but one of the harsh realities about life is you can't use your relationship with your wife or even with your husband or vice versa. You can't use that to please your parents or your families, man. That's your own life. That's your own life. And the person that you exist with within the confines of that relationship, they have they have the right to happiness within the confines of that relationship. They shouldn't be reduced to ill treatment. They shouldn't be reduced to being treated like a doormat. Do you know what I mean? Just because you want to please or you haven't got the balls to say no to your family members. That's all I'm saying. So this woman said basically the husband has stopped talking to her. He's distanced himself ever since. No love making and all that. If this ends up as an irreconcilable difference or differences or something, I'm not here just conveniently suggesting that people get the hell out of a relationship. But let me tell you, man, partner has repeatedly shown you they you can't eat your cake and have it. They want to be in a relationship with you, but they then want to bring in baggage. Nobody's asking you that because you're with someone, you should then piss all over your family members. That's not what this is about. But you cannot impose your members of your family, and this works to both parties, to violate your partner. So if your partner is going to be that way, I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's my reasonable submission that that relationship is hit the rocks, man. It's done. It's toast. It's done. You might as well just walk away. That's just the way I see it, because it makes no sense. Interestingly, actually, there was a brother. I remember this. There was a brother, I digress, that sent me an email, a while back, and he was very honest. And he said, he's aware. Watch this. This was actually very deadly. He said, Phrankleen, I'm aware of my mom's actions. I know. I'm not going to lie. I am thoroughly aware of my mom's failings and how she unfairly targets my woman. I'm even aware of some of the lies and all the things my mother concocts just because she's not having a way. He said he's aware. He said, but I can't bring myself to trash my mom in front of my wife. So I have to pretend like I can't see a bulk of my mother's failings. Do you see that very toxic mindset? You know what your mother is capable of, but you have to pretend. It's all deeply rooted in sentiment. It also proves the point that your spinal cord is made out of jelly. Oh, look by you haven't got balls between your legs or balls of steel as you should have. So what it also suggests is you are selfishly and willingly subjecting your partner to emotional abuse, all because you want to desperately please your mother. That's just toxic, man. That's absolutely toxic. So I don't know, man. They will sit there and act like they have no idea what you were saying. Gabriel, elaborate. People get married for different reasons. All this pressure about childbirth pushes women to go and get pregnant outside if a husband cannot impregnate her. It's all about sentiment, not man enough to be a husband. Absolutely. My natural beauty. Absolutely. And let me tell you, man, let's call a spade, man. This is prevalent in our... Natalie, thank you for the super chat. This is prevalent in our community, in the Black community. It's deeply rooted, man. You have these narcissistic mother-in-laws. This is why I said earlier, the man has a vital role to play. If you cannot put your foot down and stop your mother in her tracks and put her in a place, you can do that firmly. You can do that succinctly. You can do that in a very firm, and nobody's asking you to get, you know, sometimes in the extreme end of the scale, you might lose your cool because you've been trying to drive on that simple message and they're refusing. Because why? They've got the mindset of a dictator. All they want is to have their own way. Sometimes it might get a bit loud and a bit animated, and you might have to get really explosive, you know, to convey your message across. Because I want me, they are very toxic that you're going to have to blow the roof open in order for them to get the message. And let me tell you, another thing that I want to add is, especially from Africa, mother-in-law palaver. Oluwale Adegboye, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. Another thing is, from where we came from, some of you watching this know this, some of these very evil mother-in-laws that desperately want to have their ways, when they use every other tactics in the book and it's not playing out. Don't forget, it's all narcissistic, all because they're not having their unbelievably vindictive, and some of them then turn desperately to diabolical means. That diabolical means is the flip side of African spirituality, which is the negative side of things, and they would try to do things and attack their daughter-in-laws, and sometimes retaliatory actions. They do things to attack the children, all because they want to sabotage that union. It's about them. So if the man, if you're spineless and in the midst of all of these palaver, all you are desperately latching onto is trying to please mommy, what you're effectively doing is throwing gasoline on your roof and setting it ablaze. Point blank simple. Let me look at some of your comments. Having children is not given infertility. Okay, people are just chatting there. I know ladies who rejoice when they learn their future mother-in-law passed away. It's like one less burden to deal with. Absolutely. Michelle, it's not meant to be so, but let the truth be told, man. The last thing you want is mother-in-laws from hell. You see, all of this, it's about one thing: refusing to respect boundaries. They don't. Why? What? Somebody asked me one day, Phrankleen, these mother-in-laws, what is it that they want? It's about control. Oh, that's my little boy. I gave birth to him. I carried him for 9 months. Please. You know, he virulently sucked on these boobies of mine. I gave him liters and liters of breast milk. I carried him in my back. When he was poorly, I took him to A&E OJB. I sent him to university. So what? You also sucked on your mother's breast milk. Big deal. It's the cycle of life. I had C-section to give birth to him. This. That can never be a justifiable reason to become narcissistic. Never. It will never be. That can never be a justifiable reason to subject someone else's daughter to toxicity. that can never grant you access into the confines of your son's union with his wife. Never. You know, in our communities, right? You sit down with some of these aunties, some of these women. It's you know what? Do you know the funniest bit is these same mothers, they will fight tooth and nail to prevent anybody from their husband's family or even their family to get between them and their husbands. But they want to control their children's lives. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, man. It's nuts. That's why, again, a lot of these is derived from some of the toxic culture that I've addressed in the past that we've adopted across several generations. All right. You hear some young dudes. No, what a lie. I cannot sit here and make this up. One of the deadliest things that can happen to a young guy is you are already raised with this toxic mindset. There are dudes, on one hand, they aspire to settle down, have a wife, have children. But on what runs concurrently with that is the toxic mindset. You will hear stuff like, oh, no woman can ever take my mother's place. No woman can ever be on the same level as my mom. No way. No woman. Now, that's where the foolishness abounds. That's the center point of the foolishness, the root cause of the foolishness. You've got to, in your brain and in your mind, you've got to be able to compartmentalize, right, the spaces for each person. There is a place for a mother's love, a mother's affection for your mother, right? There is a special place for your woman. They are separate spaces. Your wife and your mother are not in a polygamous relationship. They are not competitors. They are not on the same wavelength. They are totally different. That's your woman. That's the mother of your children. So that's the root cause of the problem. The twisted mindset, the foundation of, you see that mindset, that's where all of these problems branch out from. My mother, you can never, there is no woman that can, my mother's jollof rice will always be the best in the world. Jollof rice, which you my man say to my the best in the world, and you are married. There's a way you disseminate the compliments for your mother and say, oh, my mother bangs out very good jollof rice. Oh man, it's yummy. But my wife's jollof rice is the best. Even if it turns out a bit soggy sometimes, that's how you do it. Your mother and your wife are not on the same wavelength, should never be. Even if your wife's jollof rice isn't evidently as perfect, it must be the best. You can't openly, be putting your mother and your wife on the same platform and be saying, oh, my mother's catfish pepper soup is the best. She beats my wife hands down. Even my wife knows. You are mad. You're stupid, man. You deserve to have a long queue of men with horse-shaped dicks to pound that woman and take her off you. You shouldn't do that, man. I hear guys say that, even my wife knows my mom cooks better soup. You are mad. Why should your wife and your mom be on the same wavelength? I don't get it. Your mom comes to greet you. Your mom wants to step in the car with you. You're both with your wife. You're going to a destination. It's only within the African community that I see this. You want your wife to sit at the back and get your mother to sit in front. Wait, because it's a sign of respect. Your wife must sit at the back so your mother can spread her legs in front because she gave birth to you. Your mom should spread her legs in the front passenger seat next to the driver in her husband's car. And if your dad is no longer alive, maybe in her personal car. You relegate your woman to the back seat. Yeah, mom is my mom within the confines. Why don't you take your mother and your wife into the bedroom for threesome and smash your mother alongside your wife? Why? Because she's on the same level as your wife, isn't she? You see how that sounds? Oh, your mama, let's say what you're really. You could have invited mommy into the bedroom for, for a session with your wife. Oh, because you love her. So do you understand now? So if you're going to say, Phrankleen, come on, man, why would I take my mom into the bedroom? Oh, the thought of that alone is, bro, why would you even say that? So why would your mom and your wife be on the same wavelength? Do you now understand that you are practicing madness? It's just madness. Some women, some men, some of us brothers, some of my brothers watching this, unbeknown to you, you're a product of patriarchy. We've been raised. Even some of your mothers also grew in toxicity. You've been raised in this toxicity. Your wife must be relegated. Your wife must be confined in the kitchen to cook for every goddamn member of your family. Oh, it's our culture. It ain't no damn culture. If you had a family gathering, right? There's a bit of get together or something. My wife, she can, by the way, Victoria can cook, man. Mommy won't say pan. She's probably watching this now. If there was a family gathering, right? And Victoria was with the rest of the family members, they're cooking in the kitchen and whatever. They're cooking, and it's a family get together, and she lends a hand, and everyone's cooking. The whole thing is going on good, fantastic. Nobody should make rules that mandatorily your wife must get in the kitchen and fry off the meat and cook and serve all the men in the family, and everybody must rest their collective balls, their ball bags on the couch. Oh, she must also pack the plates and go and wash the plates, man. So I have to openly indulge, right? In the indulge in openly enslaving my wife for the gratification of some charlatans within Abba. Come on, man. A lot of men, whether you want to agree with me, this is not man bashing, but let's talk about the truth, man. I love my brothers. We have to. Let's talk the truth, man. I'm on fire today. Collectively. I know you're watching this. You don't like this. I don't care. You don't like what I'm saying? Go watch something else. Go and watch Teletubby. Get off my channel. If you're watching this as a man and it makes you feel uncomfortable, go and watch Teletubbies. Go into the bathroom. Go play with yourself. If you are putting your mother and your wife on the same level, you're crazy. Fikayo, thank you for the super chat. And for the records, this is not trying to gravitate towards some women or trying to please everybody. Let's talk the truth, man. You understand me? This is how a lot of people have their homes, their lives absolutely destroyed. I don't get it. I've always fought against this, even off camera, offline, away from YouTube. This is not clout chasing. This is not trying to appease a certain gender. No. So all this toxic, you as a dude, you're watching me right now. You know your mama is narcissistic. Okay, agreed. She's set in her ways, right? But you protect your home. Protect your home, man. I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired of this toxicity. Come on, man. Protect your home. You invite your mom from Africa. You file for her. She gets a visitor's visa, right? She comes into your home. Of course, she's meant to be there. Mother-in-law, she's a mother. It's meant to be a jolly good time. In fact, when she packs her bag, about to go back, you should be teary-eyed because your wife should be broken-hearted, that she'll be missed because she's a lovely woman. You come into your son's marriage, and then you become a two-headed dragon. It's like World War III in that house. You're pretty much trying to dictate the number of pieces of meat they are meant to eat in the kitchen. Your son's wife gets dressed. What the hell is smelling so bad? Go back home then. You lie just so you can get the woman out the door. Your son's wife comes in. Good morning, ma. Mommy, oh, good afternoon. And then when your son is standing adjacent, oh, hello, my daughter. Hello. What is your problem? What is your problem? Man. And then you as a dude, you can see this. But because your spinal cord is made out of jelly, I can't, I can't place any woman above my mom. Again, that's the root cause of your problem. This isn't about placing any woman above your mom. This is about growing balls of steel and doing that which is noble. Can I say something? This is even about trying to please your wife or your partner. No, it's because it's the noble thing to do. If I sit down and my mom's has been narcissistic, I will put her in a place faster than the speed of light. I am not trying to please my wife. If my wife bugger off tomorrow, I'm talking hypothetically, and I get with another woman, I would do exactly the same thing because that's the way I'm mentally wired. You protect your home, you protect, and of course, you shouldn't watch that woman that you proclaim your love for be subjected to cycle of narcissism. It's just crazy, man. Your mom's got the audacity to come to your house and be telling your woman, so how much did you pay for those shoes? What, boy, what the, how is that your bloody business? Oh, so this is what you're spending my son's money. Those are you? How many pieces of meat? What? But when you had your breakfast, when you had your lunch, you had 4 pieces. You had, oh, so you are eating again? And then you go into the bedroom, baby, calm down. Look, you just calm down. You have to learn to love her. What? Learn to love narcissism. Coming to count the pieces of meat in the pot. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, really. Imagine a woman imposing on your wife, your mother, trying to make it mandatory that your wife adopt your dead sister's son. That's the height of madness. And you as a man can't say nothing about that because you still got your mother's milk desperately wet on your lips. I know there's a dad who said, yeah, but I love my mom, but she suffered. But I love my mom. I remember as a little child when she used to give me sausages. Oh, there's a dad. Who is asking you to love your mother less? I've got plethora of stories, man, where women, a lot of women, they, man, this even our society, because of this toxic culture, is a major enabler. It's unfair. Yeah. So your mom comes to your house. Of course, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. This is how I see it, man. You see, when there is mutual respect, regardless of how old your mom is, the problem is not, this is what let me just chip this in before I forget, right? The problem is not that your mother wants to come around and come and spend X amount of time with you. There is no sensible woman out there that would just wake up and just feel bad about your mother for no just reason, right? The problem is not your mother coming around or wanting to spend time with the grandchildren or having one or two opinions here and there. That's nothing. It's lack of respect for boundaries, having zero respect, belittling the other person, and thinking it's justifiable. In some families, it's actually a lot more deadly. You bring home a wife. All of your brothers and sisters expect your wife to become a kitchen slave for them. All of your brothers and uncles and their sons, they rest their collective slimy balls on the couch, and they expect your woman to run from pillar to post. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, it's the culture, of course. Oh, what is Phrankleen talking about? Phrankleen is heavily westernized, man. Phrankleen doesn't have a clue. Oh, you born in Phrankleen, Akatani. Phrankleen is a coconut. Yeah, because I don't align with that BS. Of course. Your wife is 35-year-old. Your 22-year-old younger brother has the nerve, has the audacity to finish eating and flings like a frisbee his plate into the kitchen sink, calls your wife by name. The wife to be like, Baba call me, expects her to go wash the dishes. Oh, I wish a moth would. My sibling dare not. I will knock your ghost out of your body. Come on, man. If my woman is willingly, maybe she would at the sink already doing dishes, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just drop, no. Drop the plates. I'll sort it." That's different. But you come into my house a 22-year-old brother, a 25-year-old. You sit on the couch. My woman has done the cooking. You expect her to serve the food and come and put it in front of you. And then you get some of these moms, they will back those ill-mannered siblings and say, she should serve her in-laws. What kind of nonsense is that? That's all I'm saying, man. See, it's already challenging enough for two people with different backgrounds and different set of habits to amalgamate their emotions and exist within the confines of a relationship. You don't have your differences. One of the worst things you can ever do to yourself is to then compound the potential complexities that would already come with that. With that union, and then bring the baggage of your in-laws and let them piss all over you. This is how some people will buy lifelong, pointless, unnecessary complexities because you want to treat the woman like filth. You go to a family function. You are actually the one as a man looking at that woman, so you can't get up to go and give uncle jollof rice. So you can't go and give auntie a plate of puff puff. No. We don't do that in our family. And then you are trashing your woman so that your uncles can sit down and say, ha, that's my boy. Yes. Look here. As your husband told you, we don't do that in this family. But if you don't shut you up. Hell no. And I use myself. I close up on this, man. I'm going to drop the shutter on this. I use myself as an example, man. No disrespect to anybody. But even amongst my own family, people know this, man. And again, like I said, this is not to please my woman. People know that they cannot piss all over my woman. You can't. Oh, look, disrespect Yaomi. You disrespect my woman, you disrespect me. You give respect, you get respect. You treat somebody nicely, they will treat you nicely. You don't sit down assuming in your tiny little mind that somebody else's wife is then meant to become your slave. How did that happen? How did we get to that point? Those family members that want to come into your relationship or your lives and all they ever want to do is draw battle lines. If you go somewhere and all you do is just leave a trail of toxicity and bad energy, you need to avoid those type of people, man. Hey, Frank, you're one of the best thing that ever came out of Nigeria. God bless you. The truth is bitter. You say, oh, thank you, like Bell. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Like I say, let me tell you, man, I've always said this. This is not to appease any particular gender, all right? Because you know me, right? For those that watch Phrankleen quite often, if I come tomorrow, I might have some stuff to say to women directly. This is why when some people go, oh, Phrankleen, men are the usual, men are, if I have to tell you what's wrong with women, I'll just say it. Because it's not fair to make contents that are deeply rooted in bias. So that's just totally counterproductive. That's not fair. That would be misleading to the wider audience. So I try my bit just to go say it like it is. That's the premise of this. You dig? So that's why when some of you women come, oh, Phrankleen, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, do you know women? How about you sit your butt down, man? Tomorrow, I'll have some stuff to say about men. So that's what we're doing today. Smash the like button, man. So the lady basically saying it would appear that the relationship is hit the rocks. If it hits the rock, it hits the rock. If you have to go, pat your ways. Because the worst thing that can ever happen, it's not fair on those children. Now you got your children under the spotlight of the social services because of a spineless man. You dig? And that woman now said she's frustrated, and the man is basically just taking sides. So, unbeknown to you, you've pretty much become a single mom. You dig? That's all I'm trying to say, man. We need to do better. And all of these is rooted in one thing. Learn to say no. Learn to look at people and tell them, I don't want this. Even though they are some of the dearest people to you. Put sentiment on the shelf. Say no. Prevent palaver. If you have a misunderstanding with your missus, don't go running to your mom. Mom, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Even if your mom, because she's motherly, she notices that you feel some type of way. Oh, what's wrong with you? You're a bit moody. I'm all right, mom. No, that's cool. I'm okay. I'm all right. No, that's fine. Oh, is it? I hope it's not your wife. No. I'm cool, mom. Sort it between yourself. Because there is one thing about family. Lastly, you might have that momentary enjoyment when you go and unleash your marital palaver in the hands of your mother and siblings, right? Eventually, you might get to a point where you get to resolve with your partner. But you know what families do? They never forget. Most of the time, they are not going to give you a recipe on how to have a smooth sailing within the confines of that relationship. They internalize your business that you've managed to put in their palms. They develop a time bomb. All right? The evilness and resentment towards your woman starts to brew inside, starts to grow. The more you put in their hands, they start to brew and grow the resentment towards your woman. You don't even know it because you're foolish enough to see it. So one day, it might just be a Christmas gathering or a party or naming ceremony, and then a little friction, somebody had the misunderstanding. Sorry, who finished the plantain? Excuse me, so how dare you talk to me like that? Oh, you think it's the nonsense you're practicing with my brother? Yeah. And then your woman is like, whoa, excuse me, do you mind? Bang, 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 nya. And then you're like, oh, baby, calm down, calm down. Mom, no, don't say that to my mom. And then the whole thing cave in. And there goes a relationship down the drain. Facts only. Of course, that being said, if you find out that your woman has subjected you to paternity fraud, let your family know. So what I'm saying is, if your woman is subjecting you to maybe domestic abuse, extreme cases like that, let people know. But amongst yourself, you've been a bit reckless with finance. You went to buy a brand new iPod when you were meant to use that money maybe to fix the car, and your wife gave you a mouthful because you've been absolutely silly. Don't run to your mom. Man up. Apologize. Find a way to resolve that palaver within the confines of the relationship. You say, mom, because I bought an iPod. Mom, can you believe what happened? Mom, can you? Oh, do you want to come over for a shot of my breast milk? Okay, mom, I'm driving down now. And then you go back. My mom said, my mom said, my mom My mom said, you need to stop shouting at me. My mom said, if you don't stop, you're going to get replaced. My mom said, in this house, my mom said, I'm the head of the home. My mom said, my dad said, my brother and sister said, my mommy said, if you don't stop, you're gonna get replaced. My mom, my mama. Is that your mother's breast milk dripping from the corner of your mouth? Yeah. My mom. that's me done, man. That's me done. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for paying attention. That's, you know, bit of a rant. I'm quite passionate about this type of topics anyway. So don't forget to hit the like button. Please smash the like button. Don't forget to share my videos. It's always a pleasure to have you watch my content. You know, I appreciate you guys. Michelle, everybody, thank you so much. Don't forget to share my content. And please send me your stories to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Look in the description below. And I will definitely catch you in the very next one. All right. Peace and love, man. Odabon.